This presentation is proudly represented by Gilles Ottenburgs, Sander Provo, and Thomas van Kouteren, students industrial engineer at KU Leuven. For the course Intercultural Communication, the students are supposed to compare different cultures and draw conclusions according to these differences. After some brainstorming sessions, we decided to study the thoughts other people have about inhabitants from the Pauscollege and otherwise. Pauscollege is a residence for students in Leuven, and the inhabitants are very well known among other students. We could easily survey people inside Pauscollege because Gilles and Thomas live there. Our objective is to study how the inhabitants of Pauscollege see themselves and how would they like to be represented. And how do other people see the inhabitants of Pauscollege, and do they have prejudices about them? Almost every group or culture has its own prejudices and stereotypes. Pauscollege has some stereotypes as well. They are told to be lazy, always drunk, feeling superior. Dying to find out, we decided to go on the streets and find some answers. We interviewed 10 people of Pauscollege, 10 students, and 10 adults, all living in Leuven. The questions we asked are the following. The answers of the inhabitants were pretty similar. If we asked how they would describe the Pauscollege, they all indicated that the social side of Pauscollege is very important. In the residence is an atmosphere where social contact is key. There is a strong group bond and you never feel alone. Other students have prejudices about Pauscollege because they hear gossips about misbehavior, and may not understand the feeling that they have together, and perhaps the group bond can make them look different. 3 people knew at least one person living in the Pauscollege and said they came there on a regular basis. They had a more positive image of the Pauscollege. They said that Paus inhabitants are a bit more loose than the average student in Leuven. However, they all agreed Pauscollege inhabitants were some kind of a close social group, but still very accessible towards outsiders. 3 out of 10 had never heard of the Pauscollege or recognized the name. They did not have any clue of what it exactly was. When they heard the word Paus in the name, which is the Dutch word for Pope, they automatically assumed the Pauscollege was a religious place. We found 4 people who had heard of the Pauscollege but are not really related to it. Those 4 people had the most negative idea towards the college. The worst characteristics of Pauscollege inhabitants were enlarged. People who do not really know them think Pauscollege guys are spoiled rich kids who only party, or otherwise they consider it as a close group of religious people. They admitted it was just a stereotype they had, and they knew it could not be completely correct. 20 years ago the Pauscollege was a complete different institution. It was more elite-like and a very closed community. We also interviewed some adults who were more closely related to the college, such as the cleaning and cooking staff. A cleaning lady who has been working here for over 29 years said, "The Pauscollege today reminds me of how it was 10 or even 15 years ago. Before that time the college was a strict residence with a huge Catholic influence. In my opinion, 8 years ago was the best time to live at the college. The group feeling around that time was much more widespread than nowadays. The upswing of social media and the widely spread use of cell phones damaged the group feeling." Identity is the way people want to represent themselves or the way they want to be represented in society. The inhabitants in Pauscollege were surprised. They thought there were more prejudices about them. It is noticeable they want them to be seen as a separate social group. The urge of representing themselves as they want to be represented as. This was notable during the interviews. It is obvious other students have prejudices about students in the Pauscollege, as we suspected. Almost everyone has some stereotypes about it. As our survey indicates, the students in Pauscollege want to identify themselves as a close social group. The survey shows this is indeed how other people see the Pauscollege. Thank you for your attention.